Janhavi Panwar. Welcome back to my channel, or if you guys are new over here, then welcome to my channel. Now, if you have seen the title of this video, it says stop memorizing English, start understanding English. Because it's important. Since your childhood, all we have been doing is cramming English. To become fluent in English, you are not supposed to cram English. You're cramming 50 different words a day, you're cramming grammar rules and too many things, and still you're not fluent. Still you're here stuck, translating in the back of your mind, cannot even think in English, and whenever it's time to speak, you cannot speak, because the moment you have to speak, you're like, John, we can understand English, but we can't talk in English. Yeah, I know that. I mean, that's a very common problem. Why? Because all you have been doing is just, listening, and not even listening properly. You've just been cramming and memorizing. And once you cram and memorize, that's good for a subject. That's good for a math formula that you have to cram. But it's not good for a language. A language is meant to be used. A language is meant to be heard. A language is meant to be understood, not memorized. Because it's not a math formula. Let me tell you something. Once you start memorizing things, it actually fills your brain with data that you're never going to use. You cannot use that data anywhere. When it's time to speak, at that moment, you're like, oh, what was that word? I forgot. You just learned 50 words a day and you still forgot, you still can't speak in English. Why? Because you've been memorizing English. Whenever you find a sentence, you start dissecting it like a science problem. Let me tell you how. Most of the times, for example, there is a phrase, and the phrase is used to. So now you're like, oh, used to. So what's the meaning of used to? Used to means something that I did in the past, but I do not do it now. Okay. And you still don't know how to use that. Instead, what you actually need to do, you do not need to learn the phrase used to, you need to listen to it. And how do you need to listen to it? In situation like, oh, I used to wake up at 5 a.m. and now I don't. So now you're going to figure out by yourself that something you used to do in the past, but you do not do it anymore. So that's where we use used to. So the moment you start understanding English, because once you're only learning the phrase used to, just used to, and you're like, okay, what's the meaning? This is the meaning. Okay, how are you supposed to use it? Don't know. So obviously you're gonna get confused. So once you start focusing more on phrases, not just words, that's the moment you start understanding English language, and that's the moment you actually, start initiating your plan of becoming fluent in English. Guys, fluency is not built in your notebook. No, you're writing down words, you're writing down grammar rules. Fluency is not built in your notebook. Fluency is built in your ears, your tongue, and the way you're using it. Fluency is built in understanding in your brain. When you're doing all of these things together, that's how you become fluent in English. Now let me give you some tips onto how you can start understanding English instead of memorizing English, and where you can start. Number one, stop translating in the back of your mind. I'm not saying, you're extremely fluent, so you need to, just stop translating everything. I'm not saying that. Just start thinking simple sentences, very simple sentences. This is a water bottle. This is a ring, simple sentence. This is my water bottle, again, very simple. I am going, okay. I am in school, okay. I am studying, very simple. So I just want you to think of very simple sentences. I'm not saying advanced. So once you start from here, then you reach here. And I'm saying very gradually, like very slow. No, you do it fast. And in just a matter of few months, you do like that. But you need to start taking action today. You need to start thinking in English. Just simple sentences. I'm going, I'm traveling, I'm traveling, and I am driving. Very simple. I'm going to take a shower. Extremely simple. So you start doing this. Tip number 2 I have for you guys is, I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again, focus on phrases, not words. As I said, if you're only going to focus on the word used to, then you are going to get confused. You do not know how to use it. But if you're going to focus on the whole phrase, oh, I used to wake up at 5 a.m. and now I don't anymore, so you understand it, you understand the context. If you just learn about a word, if there is a word astonish, and astonish means surprised, but you still don't know how to use it. But then you hear the word in a sentence, in a situation. I was so astonished looking at her gorgeous dress. That means you were surprised. So surprising. But if you just learn word, you do not know how to use it. You're just memorizing it. Let's talk about tip number 3. And tip number 3 is actually the last tip because we're going to keep this video very, very simple. So tip number 3 says, listen more than you study. Okay, what have you been doing? You have been learning active, passive voice, prepositions. You have been learning verbs. But have you been listening properly? No, you haven't. Real English comes from real conversations. Real English comes from real situations and scenarios. So how can you listen more? All you need to do is you need to start watching movies in English. You can even switch on your subtitles. You need to watch the same movie again without subtitles. You need to watch English news. You need to listen to English songs. Basically, whatever you're doing, whenever you're listening, start doing that in English. If you're watching a Hindi movie or if you're watching whatever your language is, you're watching a movie in your native language, then change the settings and then start watching it in English. You can switch on the subtitles of English too, but then you're gonna have to watch it again without subtitles to see how much you understand. So start listening more than studying. And obviously, whatever you learn, you need to start using it too. Because guys, listen to this and listen to this very carefully. The best English speakers are not the best memorizers. The best English speakers are the best understanders. Now, the thing is, once you start understanding English, you start living it. You start becoming it. You do not just learn it, you become it. By becoming it, I mean that you start immersing yourself in that language. You start living with that language, not thinking of it and treating it like a third subject. Oh, now I need to do this too. Nah, not that kind of attitude. That kind of attitude is not going to work. You need to be confident. You need to have a learning attitude towards learning English. And you need all of these tips and tricks in order to become fluent in English. So from today onwards, make sure to tell yourself, and whenever you're trying to learn English, then just pause and think for a second, am I memorizing or am I understanding? So you need to think about this, and then you're gonna change your technique immediately. So I want you guys to do this. Also, all of my English courses are out now, which are basic English course, advanced English course, and accent courses, all available on my website, janhavipanwar.com. The link for that is in the description box down below. And as for me, I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Till then, bye everyone, stay safe.